driving in here today, I just got emotional thinking it's the last time I'll be driving into Finch, and I'm sure, you know, driving out, it'll be very emotional. And yeah, it's definitely, you know, Everton will always hold a massive place in my heart. They'll always be probably the most significant part of my career, and nothing will ever take that away from me.
Dan, after 15 years, you're moving on from Everton. It's obviously a very emotional moment for yourself. What's the emotions like for you in this moment?
To be honest, I think I felt every emotion possible in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, a great deal of sadness when you've been at a club for 15 years and spent half your life there. It's always going to be difficult to say goodbye. It's definitely been one of the hardest decisions I've ever made. You know, everyone knows how much this club means to me. It goes without saying. So, yeah, definitely a very difficult decision for me, and yeah, feeling every emotion possible right now.
Let's start at the beginning. 15-year-old Danielle Turner, you know, went on trial with Everton. You know, talk us through that experience.
Yeah, I remember coming here trialling for the under-16s, obviously being successful. Spent a couple of years there, 1 year away before I came back to play for the reserves, and you know, I was in there for quite a few years. I was kind of a late blossomer. You know, I didn't break into the first team till I was like 21, so you know, I spent a good number of years, you know, learning and developing in the reserves before, you know, stepping up to the first team.
Because that period of your career was obviously very important, because you had developed, that's, you know, for the first few years at Manchester United up to a point where, you know, that academy didn't progress, so you know, you would have had options to go elsewhere. So why did you feel Everton was the right decision to trial at that time?
I just think because Everton was such a big name in women's football when I was younger. You know, they were really successful, and they were up there, you know, with the big names, with the likes of Arsenal. They were also very well known for developing young players. And you know, when I came here, you know, when I walked through the door, you know, it immediately felt like home to me, and that's what I've considered it for the past 15 years or so. And I think, you know, once you play for Everton, you step through the door and it touches your heart, and it's hard to explain, but you know, you get this feeling, and that's why, you know, I've been at the club for such a long time.
And then making your debut under Andy Spence, talk us through that, because that was obviously a proud moment in your career here. Yeah,
definitely. I've got to say a massive thank you to the likes of Andy Spence, Mo and Keith Marley as well for, you know, the early stages of my career here. And obviously Andy has been, you know, a massive influence on my career. You know, he gave me my first team debut. He had so much belief and trust in me, you know, throughout the whole time he was here. So obviously making my debut for a club that I love was just obviously an amazing feeling, and then obviously going on to develop under Andy as well. I owe so much to him for that. You know, he made me captain of this club as well, and that's something that I'll always be grateful for as well.
That first season with Everton, you know, unfortunately just runners up in the FA Cup final, but that whole season as a whole, you know, must have exceeded your expectations massively. What was that like for you?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously coming into the first team, I didn't think I was going to make that many appearances, and you know, I ended up starting quite a few games. You know, Andy had a lot of trust in me as a new player into the squad. Obviously that season came with a lot of ups and downs. We got relegated, but also reached an FA Cup final, so there was a lot of highs and lows, but it was certainly obviously a big step in my career, and you know, getting that experience of first team football.
Just on the FA Cup itself, you know, just a couple of years ago we reached another final. You know, the FA Cup holds a lot of memories for you, but I suppose one of the more distinct ones was a certain debut in goals. You know, talk us about that match against Durham.
Yeah, that's something I'll definitely never forget. I think, you know, Kirsty Lavelle at the time was struggling with an injury, and we didn't have a backup goalkeeper, so I stepped up. I volunteered to go in, and yeah, I think at the time we were 2-0 down to Durham. The girls managed to bring it back to 2-2, went to extra time, and it was only towards the end of extra time I was thinking, God, this could go to penalties. And then obviously it went to penalties, and somehow we managed to get through with me in goal. I didn't quite save any, but maybe I was just enough to put them off. But yeah, that's something that I'll definitely never forget, that moment.
Would you say 2017, with regards to, you know, the proudest moments here at Everton, would you say that's the proudest you've been here with, you know, being offered the captaincy and then, you know, signing your first professional contract here as well?
I think so. Obviously, that was a massive summer for the club in turning professional. Obviously, that allowed me to, my dream became a reality then in becoming a professional footballer. And then obviously getting the captaincy as well. Everyone knows that this club means so much to me, and to lead the girls out on numerous occasions. Honestly, it's really up there, one of the proudest times in my career, and it's something I'll always look back and be very proud of. And yeah,
it's clear the emotion that you have, Dan, and it goes without saying how much of an influence you've had on how the team's evolved. This emotion you feel, it just shows how this club's touched you.
Yeah, it has. I probably never thought this moment would come, to be honest. Being here for so long, it's just felt like home to me. It's just so difficult to say goodbye, and I'll just, my overriding feeling, I'm just so proud and so grateful for the opportunities this club's given me, the people at this club. I think the special mention's got to go to the people that you don't even see, like the cleaners, stewards, kitmen, kitchen staff, groundsmen. I'll probably forget to name some people, but honestly, they're the ones that make this club tick, and I don't think they get the credit they deserve. So it's people like that are the reason why I've loved being at this club for so long. And it's really difficult for when you've been here for half my life to walk away, but I'll just look back with so many unbelievable memories that I'll cherish forever. And I've made some lifelong friends here that I'll be friends with for the rest of my life. And I'll just forever be grateful for this club, and just so proud to have represented this club.
Just on those memories, we've touched on the FA Cup finals, playing in goals against Durham, signing your first professional contract, and then of course the captaincy. What other memories stick out the most when you sit back and reflect?
There's been a lot. I think you've mentioned quite a few there. Obviously going professional, being captain, I think getting promoted back to WSL after a few years in WSL 2. Playing at Wembley, being Liverpool, Anfield. There's just been so many, but off the field as well. I think big part of why I've loved this club is the work they do in the community, and I've had so many opportunities there. Going to Kenya with the men's team, that was something that I'll never forget. Such an amazing experience, meeting the kids out there, and there's just so many that I could list, but memories that'll stay with me forever.
And obviously a big part of this experience at Everton has been its supporters. They've been with you since day one. How much of an influence have they had on you, and not just as a professional, but as a person as well?
Yeah, massive. I think they've stuck by me personally and all the other girls through thick and thin, no matter what the ups and downs we've had. They've shown unconditional support, and I'll always be grateful for that, for them. I'll never forget it. I'm just sorry I didn't really get a chance to say a proper goodbye. But I'm sure, I'll see them again in the future and be able to show my gratitude towards them, because they are unbelievable, second to none, and I'm sure they'll continue to support the girls no matter what in the future. And I'm just so grateful for the support that they've shown me throughout my whole time here.
And with being here for 15 years, you've obviously worked with a lot of players, players who are still here, players that have moved on. Which players do you feel have influenced you the most, just maybe, as I say, as a professional football player, but also as a person?
I think in the early days, when I first stepped up, the likes of Rachel Brown-Finnish, Jill Scott, Lindsay Johnson, they were the ones that I kind of looked to model their behaviour. Obviously class professionals, and then I think Michelle Hinnigan, I followed in her footsteps of being the captain, so I learned a lot from her. And then probably more recently, just the girls that I've spent a lot of my journey with, the likes of Simone McGill, Gabby, Meg, Shani Boy-Halorka before she left the club, and they're probably the ones that that I've spent a lot of my time with, and that I'll have the most memories with. So but everyone, the girls that I've played with for a year or two, that everyone's had a an influence on me, and you know, I've learnt a lot from every single one of them. So yeah, grateful for them all.
And just finally, it's safe to say, even though you're moving on from the club, Everton's always going to be in your heart. You're always going to feel a strong affection to this club and, you know, this team.
Yeah, I think just driving in here today, I just got emotional thinking it's the last time I'll be driving into Finch, and I'm sure, you know, driving out, it'll be very emotional. And yeah, it's definitely, you know, Everton will always hold a massive place in my heart. They'll always be probably the most significant part of my career, and nothing will ever take that away from me. And as I say, I'm just honestly so honoured and grateful to have played for this club for so long. And yeah, no matter where I am, I'll always be a fan.